Good evening, families, and welcome to the La Quinta High School class of 2027 Future Freshman Night. My name is Michelle Morales, and I'm one of the counselors here at La Quinta High School. And just to get started, I'm going to be hosting tonight's event. Tonight, I'll be joined by our new high school principal, Mr. Greg O'Mara, along with our other La Quinta High School counselors. I want to start off just to thank you for all being here and joining us remotely from your homes, or maybe your workplaces, your cars, wherever you might be tonight. In addition, we're just really, really thankful that you recognize that tonight is an important piece of starting your student's high school journey. So we're glad that you recognize that being part of events like this is key part to your student success, and we're looking forward to partnering with you. So Happy New Year, and thank you for being here. Before we get started with tonight's event, I want to briefly thank the Desert Sands Educational Foundation for supporting the programs here at La Quinta High School and for enabling us to have online programs like this, like StreamYard, that allow us to broadcast to you live from the comfort of your home. To get us started this evening, we are going to start with a few words from our principal, and I am honored to be introducing Mr. Greg O'Mara to get us started this evening.
Good evening, class of 2027. It's so exciting to be here tonight and getting an opportunity to speak to you. You're actually the first graduating class that I've had an opportunity to speak with as becoming principal. I was named principal just before the winter break. And so I've really been getting into classrooms and talking to kids, but you're officially the first graduating class I've had an opportunity to speak with. And, while Zoom isn't necessarily the best way to connect with families and students, we have found that opportunities like this have really expanded our access in getting into homes and connecting with our families and inviting you in and coming to see the school and coming to some of our events and getting to know us. And so in some ways, this has worked out for the best, because we're able to reach more families now, given how busy everybody's schedule is. And I just want to give you that opportunity and that invite to stop by anytime. We have tons of sporting events going on right now, and musicals and plays and performances. And I really encourage you to find that evening to come out and see what's happening at La Quinta High School. And I'm so excited to be here, and I don't want to take up too much time, so I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Morales to take you through the rest of the program. And once again, welcome.
Thank you so much, Mr. O'Mara. And just to piggyback on that, all of the upcoming events we're going to talk to you about tonight will be in person, so there's going to be lots of opportunities to come on campus, but please come check out a basketball game or a track event, a soccer game. There's a lot happening here. I want to kind of go over what our goal is tonight is really to prepare you guys. We're going to get ready as counselors to come into the middle schools and start talking with your students about course selections and high school. And we want to have this time to kind of front load you on some of the information we're going to talk about with them, and really so you guys can sit together as a family and start talking about some of the choices that they'll be making really quickly here in the next couple of weeks. So we have an agenda tonight. We'll be introducing you to the counselors that work here at La Quinta that'll be supporting your students. We'll be discussing our high school graduation requirements, which are going to tie in closely with those course requests that your students will be doing. How can your student be successful here at La Quinta as they transition from middle school to high school? How can they be involved and get involved on our campus? And then most importantly, what are some of the next steps that are going to happen between now and the start of their high school experience? So that's really our goal for this evening. We hope to take about 30 minutes of your time tonight. And just so you know, we are live on YouTube. I can see your comments and your questions. So behind the scenes, please, as we're presenting, feel free to post any questions you have. We'll try to answer those tonight. And then we'll have a Q&A section at the end as well. So free feel to utilize that opportunity. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to get us started here tonight just with some introductions. We have 6 site counselors here on campus. I will be one of those counselors. And then we also have a college and career counselor. So I'm going to bring the counselors up as I introduce them. Our first counselor is Miss Giselle Chavero. Hi, Miss Chavero. And she oversees students with the caseload A through CE. So we are divided by alphabet when we work with the students all 4 years in high school. Oh gosh, there we go. Okay, I also have with us Miss Beltran. And hi. Oh, thank you. Do you want to introduce your caseload and introduce yourself?
Hi, so I'm Mrs. Beltran, and I oversee caseloads with students with last name CEK through Garcia M. So I know it's kind of confusing, but it's Garcia M. I know Ms. Morales and I still haven't gotten it down, but nice to meet you.
We've got this. So we do. So if you're a family with last name Garcia and you have a child whose name is maybe Antonio, it starts with A, then Miss Beltran is their counselor. However, if you have Thomas Garcia, that would be me. So we do split that alphabet, just to clarify. So I'm the counselor for last names Garcia N all the way through Lim. And then that brings us to Miss Peña. Hi, Miss Peña.
Hi, everyone. My name is Miss Peña, and I work with students with the last names Lin through N.
And tonight, joining us, Mr. Alfonso Olachea is on a short leave with us. So we have Miss Angie Marini.
Yes, hi everyone. I will be covering his caseload O through Sam.
Okay, and so if they have any questions, do they email you directly?
Yes, please email me and I will get back to you as soon as I can.
Thank you. And then we also have Mr. Antonio Rodriguez. And Mr. Rodriguez has the last portion of the alphabet, so that's SAN through Z. And then I am going to go ahead and introduce as well Miss Diana Cruz. And Miss Diana Cruz is our college and career specialist. Thank you for joining us tonight. Okay, so lots of individuals here on campus to support your students. In the counseling department, a lot of the question is, how does the counseling department serve students? So a lot of what we do is college and career guidance. We support students with college applications, financial aid, and scholarships. And I know as the parent of an 8th grader, you're probably thinking that seems so far away. But a lot of that really starts happening the minute they walk through those high school doors. And so it's important you know that. We also provide a lot of social and emotional support for our students. So we do have an open door policy here at La Quinta. A student can ask for a pass to come up to the counseling office at any time if they're in need of some social emotional supports. We also do academic advising, graduation evaluations, which you'll hear more about tonight, and then just connecting them with resources in the community and on campus. So a big part of what we do is liaison with the students and families to get them connected to services. So we like to think of ourselves as kind of a go-to person for you and your student. If you have questions on anything around campus or how to get involved with anything, you can come to us. And if we are not the best person to talk to, we definitely can connect them with who is. So feel free. We are available via our emails and via work phone. And we're looking forward to meeting everyone. So I'm going to go ahead and pass this over now. My colleague who is starting us off is, raise your hand, guys, in the backstage. Miss Chavero. Okay, thank you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for making the time to being here. My next slide, I'm going to talk a little bit more about academics. I'm going to break down what you guys are going to need for graduation, and then we'll talk a little bit more about the A through G requirements. So it's really important that I break down this information just because you guys need to make sure that you guys are hitting these requirements in order for you guys to walk at graduation here at La Quinta High School. So high school is a little bit different than middle school because you are taking and need to make sure that you are passing each class, because by taking and passing each course, you will be receiving 5 credits. In order for you to pass and receive those credits, you need to make sure that you have a D or better in that course. As a freshman, you will be enrolled in 6 courses. So by this time next year, you should have been receiving 30 credits if you have passed all your classes. So by the end of your freshman year, you will hopefully have 60 credits. It will be the same all throughout the 4 years. And by the end of your senior year, all students need to make sure that they're fulfilling the 220 credit requirement. We will have some students who will be going over that requirement, but you need to make sure that you're hitting those specific requirements, and the 220 is the minimum. So please make sure you are taking the required 4 years of English, the 3 years of a social studies, 3 years of a math, 2 years of science, 1 year of world history, or a visual and performing arts class, or a CTE course, which we will talk a little bit more about it in the next few slides. Also, you have to make sure that, yes, you have to be involved and be placed in 2 years of physical education and 70 credits of electives. So all of that will get you guys to 220 credits. Another requirement that will be needed by the end of your senior year is something called your financial aid application. So this is going to be your FAFSA or your CATA, and we can go a little bit more about that later on as you guys continue your education here at La Quinta High School. In the next slide, I'm going to talk a little bit more about the A through G requirements, which are a little bit different. These requirements are what you would need to fulfill in order for you to apply to a 4-year university right after high school. So these are going to be your Cal States, your UCs, or your private schools, and you need to make sure that you receive at least a C or better in all of these required courses. They're very similar to the graduation requirements. They just vary a little bit. For example, social studies, you need to make sure that you take 2 years and receive a C or better in those 2 years. You need to make sure that you take 4 years of an English, you receive a C or better in all 3 years of math, so forth and so on. The one main difference is that you have to take 2 years of a world language and a visual and performing arts class. Graduation, it was either or, but for A through G, it's going to be both. I want to make sure that you guys are aware of that, and it's okay if you guys don't remember these requirements because you have us counselors and other people here on campus that we can explain that to you. That was it for the A through G requirements. The next person that's going to be talking is going to be our colleague, Ms. Peña. Ms. Morales, I think you are still muted.
That's Zoom, right? Here I am. I had a lot of families this year and students this year that were a little confused about our grading system. So can you explain what kind of system we're on?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So you guys will be able to receive an A, B, C, D, or an F. So if you are not passing your classes, so let's say you don't show up for a few weeks, you're not catching up on your assignments, you may have the possibility of receiving an F. So that would mean you will not be receiving any credits. So that would not be fulfilling the A through G requirements or the graduation requirements. In order to get the graduation requirement, you need to make sure that you get a D or better. So that's a 60% or higher. To be fulfilling the A through G requirements, you need to make sure that you are receiving a C or better. So that's going to be 70% or higher.
And families, just so you know, the middle schools are all on quarter systems. So students are getting final grades 4 times a year. We are on a semester system. So they get final grades twice a year. So they go all the way from August through the December before winter break. That's when they get their first final grades that are issued on transcripts. And then they start back fresh when they come back in January. And then they get their second semester grades at the end of June. So we use quarters, but the quarter is just the halfway point in the semester to really allow the students to know where they stand. So just some clarification there. Okay, let me bring up Ms. Peña. Thanks, Ms. Chavero.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. So I'm super excited. I know that was a lot of requirements to take in. For all students, we'll have the opportunity to create a 4-year plan when we're doing our 9th grade transition meetings in April. And so I want everyone to take a deep breath because all of those requirements will be reviewed and discuss in regards to your students and what it's going to look like for them as they continue their academic education here. Right now, we have an example of a 4-year plan. We're definitely going to have that conversation of the type of education, the career goals, what your student is interested in as we continue selecting their courses. So we do have an example right here, but granted, as we meet with your students, that will look different in regards to electives, what they're selecting from PE to ROTC, from Spanish to French, and so forth. So definitely this is one of the examples, but we will go into it more in depth when we meet for our transition meetings shortly. So take a deep breath. We got the requirements and we will review what it looks like. Every year in the spring, we'll have that opportunity to review where we're at, what our goals are for the coming year. And then to add on, we do want to highlight some of our great opportunities in regards to English, math, world language, and so forth. And so we're going to go a little forward. And you'll see some of the advanced classes that 9th grader students have for their courses. Some of you might have heard of Compacted Math Year 1, Math 2 Honors, Spanish for Spanish speakers, and so forth. And so those opportunities are available. However, it does come with the school's recommendation. So your educators, so I do want all of our 8th graders to hear this and anyone else, your teachers will have the opportunity to give a recommendation on your behalf for these courses, and they must be done before May 1st. And the reason why I'm telling you all this is to take a moment. If these are some of the courses you're interested in and you are thrilled about these subjects, please reach out to your teachers. Let them know. See what you have to do within the next quarters as you continue your education on the end of your 8th grade year, so you can have that opportunity and get that recommendation. But all recommendations will be needed by May 1st. They are not required in regards to taking these courses, but if these are things you want to challenge yourself with and dive in, we definitely and strongly encourage it. And then in addition to that, we love to highlight opportunities for our students with academic recognition. I'll see that in a little bit. Oh, technology, I like it. So as we're hovering to that slide, we do have academic recognition that we do want to highlight. And in a little bit, you're going to see some photos in regards to the hardware students have the opportunity to attain. There we go. All right, here at La Quinta High School, we want to celebrate all of our students and their academics. So throughout the year, from freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior year, we look at their academic what they've done academically. So students who earn a 3.5 grade point average throughout every year will have the access to, we call it hardware. And every year has a designated hardware that they have the access to attain. Realistically, if I'm in 4 academic courses, I maintain my grades at least a 3.0 and above, I will be recognized for my academic achievements. And we do want to recognize that if a student attains a 4.0 weighted grade point average all throughout their high school career up to their 7th semester, they have the opportunity to wear white at graduation day. So we definitely want to highlight all the opportunities we have to recognize students academically and what they can achieve and make goals for while they're here at LQHS. And so next will be Mrs. Marini, and she will be highlighting some additional ways to be successful in high school.
Yes. Hi, everyone. So we know attending high school can be really scary and overwhelming for a lot of people. It's a bigger campus. There are so many more students. You're going to have 6 different classes with 6 different teachers. So it can seem like a lot to keep up with. So we want to give you some tips and tricks to help you be successful here at La Quinta High School. Okay, so being successful means being informed. Communication is key. We want to make sure that you guys are checking your emails and Google Classroom sites daily. This is our main form of communication, especially with the teachers. That's where they post assignments, give you study guides, anything regarding their class is posted on Google Classroom. Emails is important too, because not only do your teachers email you, but staff like us as school counselors email you to get in contact with you, and also at the Career Center to find out what's happening around campus, right? Don't be afraid to ask questions and get clarification during class. Be an advocate for yourself and make sure that you understand what's expected of you during that course or assignment or whatever it may be that you're struggling with. Go directly to the teacher for support as needed. See with them after class or speak with them before class to see when would be a good time for them to speak with you. And I'm sure that they will be more than happy to help you with whatever you're struggling with. Reach out to a school counselor for guidance or additional tutoring needs. We offer peer tutoring here at the counseling office. So if you're ever struggling, please reach out to your counselor and they can give you more information regarding that. And students and parents, let's be aware of the parent and student view. I'll go over that a little bit more in detail on the next slide, but that's a very resourceful tool to use. And then create and join study groups. A lot of you are going to be in the same, taking the same courses freshman year. So it would be nice to, get a group of friends and make it fun and make it something enjoyable to learn new material. So on the next slide, there is a thing called parent and student view. And here it's very, very resourceful, especially for parents. If they want to stay connected on what's happening with their student in the classes, parents are encouraged to log in. And on this site, you will see grades, attendance, test history. You can email teachers and you can see discipline reports as well. Just kind of get a check-in and see how your student is doing. And then for the students, you can see how you did on a test. You can also email your teachers. You can see how you're doing, kind of track yourself after each assignment and see how you're doing in that class to stay ahead. Also, this is where you will access report cards and progress reports. If you do not have a login already, we ask if you please contact your current school site and get that before your first day here at La Quinta High School. And then next, I would like to introduce Mr. Rodriguez, and he will be going over how to get involved here at La Quinta High School.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Sorry, I'm just regaining my voice. I did lose my voice the last 2 days. So thank you, Ms. Marini. Also, in order to be successful, you also have to get involved. That means be on time. So just like everywhere else, they tell you be there on time, be there early. Being on time sometimes may be late. So make sure you're here early and you're here on time. So participate actively. Make sure you're known here on campus, whether it's a club, sport, anything else. I'll speak about that shortly on the next slide. Accept the challenges. Sometimes we want to pick the easy class just so we can skate on by. Sometimes it's best to, accept the challenges and try the harder class. Challenge yourself. Be kind and explore. So make sure that you're not just here on campus for the 4 years, barely skating by. Make sure you're here to learn something new about yourself, learn something new about your peers, and learn about the school that you're attending and dedicating 4 years to. So make sure you explore. May I have the next slide, please? So getting involved, as I said, participate actively. Getting involved may entail being part of a club, being part of an organization here on campus, may it be ASB, a sporting team, anything. Just make sure that you're getting involved here throughout the duration of your 4 years so you can get to know your school more and know your peers as well. For those incoming freshman athletes, I know you're thinking, well, I want to play football next year. I want to do volleyball, whatever the fall sports are. The summer is your time to start seeking those opportunities. What I mean by that is that's when you need to start doing the paperwork and getting your physicals. That way you can ensure that you have a spot on those teams or even a spot to try out. So make sure that you reach out to your coaches out here if you already know who they are. Reach out to one of us. For those of you that are interested in playing sports, please go on to our La Quinta High School website under athletics and complete the interest form. After that, the coaches will reach out and they'll take it from there. So thank you. And I'm going to go ahead and reintroduce Ms. Morales.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rodriguez. Families, I also added at the bottom, there's a ticker scrolling across with some of our most popular Instagram accounts. So if you want to go ahead and follow some of those, your students for sure, that's the best way that they can get information, the most timely information. They'll tell you when tryouts, upcoming events are. So it's a great way to stay informed. We have a lot of programs here at La Quinta High School. We're very proud of some of our specialized programs like AVID, IB. We have the Air Force ROTC. You can see them all up there. We will have a showcase on February 16th where all of these specialized programs that we offer here on campus for your students to get involved with, we'll have a chance to share a little bit more about them, tell you about the benefits of being involved with those programs, so that you can make an informed decision and your student can decide if they want to join. We just want to make sure you are aware. All of these programs do have limited space, and they do have an application process that will require the student to fill out an application in a timely manner. They will be asked to interview with the program coordinator, and then they must have an approved transfer on file in order for them to be approved to those programs. So we have a lot of kids that are not in our boundaries that are applying for transfers. That's great. We want to and welcome as many students as we can. They do need to go through that transfer process, and I believe the deadline is February 23rd. But if your student is interested in any of these programs, our culinary arts, our medical health, they need to be approved in order to meet those application deadlines, and in order to be accepted into any of those programs. So just watch out for those dates, because it's really important as a parent that you are doing your part. And the other thing I wanted to make a note about with the specialized programs, the coordinators are looking at students' behavior, attendance, and grades. So if they are interested in being part, it's really important now, guys. Students, hear me. You're working on those grades. You're working on staying out of trouble. You're working hard to have good citizenship on campus so that you can be accepted to the programs you're interested in here. And we really do want you to get involved. So I'm going to invite up Miss Diana Cruz, and she's going to talk a little bit more with us.
Hi, I'm Diana Cruz, the Career Guidance Specialist here at La Quinta High School. And we have a lot of opportunities for students to receive targeted intervention and enrichment. Speaking of enrichment, I currently work with students in various areas of career readiness. My goal is to give your student resources to be successful in their next steps after high school, whether they're pursuing college, a trade school, or technical school, or maybe they're considering a career in the military. I am currently holding college and career presentations every Wednesday and Thursday during office hours. These presentations are open to all grades. Students can sign up, come in and listen to college admissions recruiters or trade school recruiters for about 40 minutes and can ask questions about college waivers, housing, specific college scholarships or programs they're interested in. We have a lot of freshmen and sophomores that sign up, which is a great opportunity for them, because by the time their senior year comes, these students are going to know exactly what they want to do and what they don't want to do. So encourage your students when they see office hours available to look at enrichment classes so they can kind of see where they want to go by their senior year. Their 4 years will go by quick, and it's really good to get them started. They do have to have decent grades to get in enrichment classes, no Fs. They sign up twice a week. There's a lot of different, besides college presentations, math support, makeup tests, IBs. There's a lot of fun stuff to do too. But they can also look at anything they want to do for their next 4 years. So definitely encourage your students to get connected. And there's a lot of fun stuff to do, but there's also stuff to do to get them ready for their senior year. So it's never too late to start. So with that, I'm going to introduce Miss Beltran.
Hi, everyone. So I am going to be talking to you about next steps. So now that I've heard all this information, what should I expect, right? So if you go to the next slide, Ms. Morales, I'll be able to tell you what these next steps are. One of the big ones, and I think we're like one of the only high schools that has this, is that we hold transition meetings with all of our incoming ninth graders. So please, 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 and I can't stress this enough, please be on the lookout for an email from your counselor or a counselor at La Quinta High School, because we are going to be reaching out to set up a meeting with us. It's a brief meeting. It's an individual family conference to go over your 4-year plan or a tentative 4-year plan. This is a 4-year plan that we will revisit every spring. So it's not like, sit on concrete. We can make plans, we can adjust. If you end up not doing so good in a class, we can definitely find an alternative. But it's really important that you really pay attention to your emails. This is, I know it's different, but compared to middle school, this is all we have right now. We communicate with you through email. And so last year we had some confusion where parents didn't really know where to find this information. So I just want you to know that we are going to be emailing you. We're also going to post this information on our website. So whenever you have a chance, I really, really just want to stress how important it is for you to just go on the website and just, look at what's there. We have a lot of resources. Like I said before, we'll be working on our 4-year plan. We'll also look at the course requests. So in a couple weeks, we're going to be reaching out to the middle schools and asking them for dates so that we can go out there and talk to you about the different programs that we have. We're also going to be holding a showcase. So this is an opportunity for you to come visit LQ and to look at the different programs that we have here, the different academies. So please take advantage of that and keep an eye on that. What else? As a reminder, I just wanted to say that we will only be holding these meetings up until the end of June. So if you don't schedule anything with us by June, we're not going to be available in the summer for this. So I really, really need you to, when you check your emails. What else? We will also, okay, something really important. I know you see there, I know Ms. Morales talked about it, but it's important that you pay attention to the transfer dates. So I know she said it was the 23rd. It's not. It's actually February 28th. That is the deadline. And please keep in mind that you will have to reapply every school year. So we have some students that applied as freshmen, and then they forget to reapply sophomore year, and then we don't have them on our rosters. And it's because families need to make sure that they reapply every school year. If you don't know how to access that information, you can go on the district website and then click on transfers, and that's how you'll be able to access that information. And then also when you reapply every year, keep in mind that they look at grades, attendance, and behavior for acceptance. And then I'm sorry, I want to clarify the meetings will take place until May. I'm sorry, not June. So May is like our last dates. So be on the lookout for the following events. So we will be holding course selections in the spring. We will be visiting middle schools. We will be holding the specialized program showcase at LQHS on February 16th. So please write that down. And again, I can't stress this enough. Transfer deadline is February 28th. We will also be holding, it sounds like it's tentative right now, but a summer bridge program. So this is an opportunity for ninth graders to come in, check out the campus, get a feel what the courses are going to be like. So I really, really encourage you to just sign up for that. And this will only be offered first session, and the space is limited. And your counselors at the middle school will receive an application as soon as this is available. We will also be holding freshman welcome walks, and we still haven't determined a date for that. So And then online registration, please make sure that you pay attention to that. It will be over the summer. And like Mr. Rodriguez mentioned earlier, pay attention to if you want to be involved in a fall sport, it's really important that you get in contact with the coach and that you pay attention to our physicals. Like, you need to make sure that you have a physical before you start. And also, I wanted to remind everyone, just, as an FYI, during our freshman walks in August, your student will take a picture ID in the picture for the yearbook. So we want to make sure that you comb your hair and that you look your best during that time. So I think other than that, we are so excited to have you on our campus. We're just looking forward to meet our new class of 2027. And welcome. We can't hear you, Ms. Morales.
Thank you so much, Ms. Beltran. I keep going backwards, you guys. Something's here tonight. I'm going on 2 screens, and so when I click over, it just is what it is. So we are really looking forward to having everybody. I'm going to go ahead and bring up all of the counselors up here on the screen so everyone can say one last goodbye. I see that we do have a question in the chat box, so we'll do that. Let me take down our presentation here. Whoa, that's a lot of me. There we go. That's better. I like seeing everybody with me here. We did have a couple questions. And guys, jump in if you want to answer. So if my child is on a transfer at La Quinta Middle School, do we need to apply for a transfer to LQ, or will they be fed into LQ from La Quinta Middle? So go ahead.
No, like I mentioned earlier, you have to reapply every year. I don't know whether you do that. So the answer is yes, you have to apply for a transfer to LQ, and you will have to do that every school year.
Right, and I think it depends. If you're in La Quinta High School's boundaries, right? If you're in La Quinta High School's boundaries and where you're homeschooled, they don't need the transfer.
Well, I think what she stated was that she's on a transfer to LQMS. Gotcha. So then that would mean that she would need to apply for a transfer to LQ. Yes. Gotcha. So she would.
Gotcha. Something that came up. So just so you guys are aware, I know we've mentioned athletics in the fall, but if your child's interested in cheerleading or the dance team, marching band, those also are things that get started right at the start of the school year. So make sure you're looking out for those because they do have auditions that happen and physicals that are required in the spring. And so definitely follow those Instagram accounts, and that way you can be informed. Let's see. Anything else? Oh, there was a question regarding IB. So explaining the IB full diploma.
So there's an opportunity for our full IB. Definitely want to highlight that that's going to be a conversation while we're doing our freshman transition meetings, but just to hover around, as an IB school, we have this great opportunity for students to have some of the most rigorous courses internationally. And with that, in your first 2 years, you have the opportunity to challenge yourself in those courses that we were talking about, whether honors or diving into subject by subject. And with that, IB courses themselves won't start until your junior and your senior year. But if this is something you know that you're going to want to dive into, whether it's for one subject or for all of them for the full IB diploma, while we're on campus, there are going to be presentations in regards to what it would look like to be an IB full student. And so students and families will be welcome to come to those presentations as they come up, but it'll definitely be a conversation that we can cover when we meet for our 9th grade transition meetings as well.
Thank you. Ms. Beltran, maybe you can answer this one. When is the cutoff date for the specialized program? So if your student wants to be involved in AVID, ROTC, the culinary, or the information technology program?
So the cutoff date would, so when we get the applications, when we receive the applications, there's a process. I think somebody mentioned it earlier, right? So we get the application, and then they interview. So I'm not sure if the question is, can they apply as a sophomore, a junior, or a senior, or the deadline for the application? If it's for the application, it would be in May. but if it's for a specific program and, you know, I mean, it all depends on availability. So if we have a lot of students that drop during their 10th grade year, and if the coordinator feels like they can accommodate students, then they will open it up. But I'm not sure what they were asking.
Yeah, I think so specifically for the 9th grade programs, so the programs that we have that start in 9th grade would be our Air Force ROTC, AVID, culinary, and the information technology program.
Right.
For those programs, so the showcase is going to be on February 16th. And we don't have a definitive deadline. The program coordinators are going to have one uniform deadline for applications. So we could probably look at 3 to 4 weeks after the showcase.
Correct. Yeah.
So they will be closing before the end of the school
And
year.
I also want to stress that, I mean, last year there was some confusion. So students filled out the application, but then they didn't upload a video that they were asked to upload. And if you don't have a complete application, our coordinators won't even consider it. So I really want to encourage everyone to really read through the application. And to, again, check their emails, because we had students that missed their interview, and that was an automatic disqualifier. So please make sure. I know it's kind of hard compared to middle school, but you guys really need to pay attention to your emails.
And then we'll have one more question that came up, and then we're going to go ahead and sign off for the night. And again, we have lots of information coming up and events coming for you. And you can always reach one of us via email or call our counseling office. But that was in regards to the summer bridge. And how do you sign up for the summer bridge?
So it's a really great opportunity. Our high school, not our high school, our summer school applications will be sent out. For the students in middle school, you will have that opportunity to get that summer school application from your school counselors at your schools. In that process, you'll have that opportunity to select a summer bridge, and it'll say our location. So that'll help send that information to us as well. And so that's how you'll sign up, through our summer school applications at your middle school.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, families, for being here with us tonight. We're looking forward to meeting you. And again, have a great end of your school year. See you soon.